Hey everyone, thanks for trying to learn to play games. My name is Lance, and in today's video I'm going to be playing a fight and resist encounter for Zombie Horde. This is a brand new game that is currently on Gamefound. It is a 1 to 5 player game that takes roughly 45 minutes to 90 minutes to play, and is a fully cooperative game where all the players are working together through multiple sessions to build up their colony and make a research facility where they can research and find a cure for this zombie infection. So in this game, in this video, I'm going to be playing through showing you the fight and resist, which is the basic tower defense version of the encounter where players are going to be going out and gathering resources. And in this particular one, the players have found their resources already and are trying to bring them back to the colony when they are attacked by a zombie horde. So as always, if you find my videos helpful, if you like what I do, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel. It's one of the easiest ways you can support channels like mine so we can continue to grow and build to produce this content. If you want to get notified anytime I drop new videos, as I'm constantly dropping new playthroughs, teaching videos, crowdfunding videos, and many others, hit that notification bell and that'll let you know whenever I drop new stuff. I do also want to point out before getting into the video that all the materials you see here are prototype materials and are subject to change and look a lot better in the final production copy of the game. If you're interested in just checking out an overview video, I'll have a link up in the top corner, as well as in the description, I'll have a link to my other playthrough video if you want to see what a different type of encounter looks like in that. So let's go ahead and head to the table. We'll see how this one plays. All right, so before getting into this one, I do have to go through a couple of additional setup steps. So first off, I've gone ahead and drawn a card, or chosen a card that I want to play for this particular mission, and I've set up all of the different stuff for that already. Now there is a couple of additional things I have to handle with this. First off, each one of my survivors, I have to choose one to carry each one of these tokens representing the different materials we're bringing back. So I'm going to go ahead and give the fixers the gears. I will give the signal core, the electrical stuff, and the plastics I'm going to give to the sentinel. All right, so I got to keep those 3 survivors safe so that I get all those materials back to the colony. From there, then I have to place out the electrical field. So this one is going to, when a figure enters this area with an electrical field token, they become immobilized. And I think I'm going to place that one here. That'll hopefully slow them down, or maybe I'll put it there. Yeah. All right. No. From there, then I also have to draw 8 cards. So this is going to be the cards for this encounter. So I have the fight and resist cards. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle those up real quick. And then I'll randomly draw 8 of them. Now I won't reveal those during this step, but this is the tracker. So I basically have to resolve 8 of these cards, and as long as I can live through these 8 cards, then I will be able to make it back to the colony in one piece. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. The rest of these cards I'll just toss off to the side. And now I have my deck of cards for this mission. All right, then I'm going to choose my different survivors. So I'm going to have the fixers start there with the sentinels. And I will have my signal core and med techs on that one. So I do have a mortar out that I can use, and I have 3 ammo on that. And that one has a range of up to 6 spaces. So this one is used for long distance stuff. So it has to be at least 3 to 4 spaces away. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it can hit anything here and back. So I might actually want to start that one in my space. And from there, then I also have a machine gun that I placed over here. So with that one, it has 4 ammo on it, so I'll have an opportunity to use it 4 times. And that one can be used from range 1 all the way up to 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it can go all the way across the field. All right, and then I do have a couple of oil barrels out. With them, when I blow them up, and they only have 1 hit point, and for every 2 I get to do 1, they do 4 damage to any figure in that space. So if I can get a bunch of horde zombies all piled up, that will hopefully be really beneficial if I can trigger that. All right, so I'm ready to move into the round at this point. And again, I'm going to be playing over 8 rounds. So my survivors are going to go ahead and start us off. And I definitely want to get some over to that area first. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 actions with both the Sentinel and the Fixer to move 2 spaces. So I'm going to go 1 and 2. And since they're in front of that one, I might take some shots on that right now. Start working on that one early. But before I do that, I think I'm going to move the signal core up as well, because he is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away, so he can still hit on 4s. And I think that's what I'll do. So then I'm going to spend an action for him. I'll spend the last action for the Fixers and for the Sentinels and roll. So range 2, I'm going to get 5 dice. For the signal core, he's rolling 3, and he's going to need, both of those are going to need 4s, and the Sentinels are going to need 4s as well on 4 dice. Now, because the Sentinels and the Fixers are firing together, they have the cooperation, so they're going to get to add 1 success per person in there. So they'll add 2 successes to this attack. So let's see if I can bring this horde down. All right, looking for 4s. Ooh, that was a rough roll. Okay, so I got 2 from my signal core. I got nothing from the Fixers. Holy smokes, he did terrible. And then I got 2 from my Sentinel, and nobody gets any rerolls either. So unfortunately, that is only 1 damage on those guys. So they're actually going to be reduced to a small horde. So small horde, and they've used all of their stuff at this point. And she does have a range, but that's not going to be too helpful. So she could move up, and she could fire the shotgun, but that's only on, she'd have to move up 2. 1, 2, 3. So let's do that. I'm going to spend 2 on her to move up 2, and then both of them are going to spend their last action to fire. So she's going to roll all 6 of hers, and she's going to need 5s, and then he gets 3, and he's needing 4s. All right, come on. I just need 4 successes here. All right, so I've got 2 with the signal core, and then she's going to need, there's 1. She's got 1 so far. She does get 1 reroll, so I need 1 more success here. Can she do it? No, so close. All right, so unfortunately, I was not able to bring that horde down. Or wait a minute. I do have the flawless shot, so once per round, reduce the target's resistance value by 1 for the attack you are participating in. But I was, so I had, what did I have, 4 last time? So it wouldn't have been enough. All right, so I'm going to just say that it was not enough, and that horde is going to work its way over. All right, so that is the end of my turns, as I've used all of my actions at this point. So now it's going to move into the zombie phase. So each one of the zombies are going to move. So this one's going to move here. Now the small horde does not have the ability to create a pyramid yet. So it's just going to make its way there. This one will move up 2 spaces to there. So I'm going to go ahead and place those out so I have references for them. I might as well put out the pyramid as well, because that will be coming. All right, so I've moved all my hordes. Now I'm going to go ahead and spawn. So let's see what we got here. All right, so, I got a horde coming out into 2. I have a horde in 6. And then I have a mutated creature. Let's see which one I pull. It is a runner. So the runner is going to be coming out, and he is in 5. All right. So I'll just leave him there, and that is going to take care of that. So I've gotten my first card out of the way. things are looking rough already. We got a lot that's going on here. Okay, so what to do? All right, so that's the end of the round. So then all my tokens reset. It is back to my turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So I'm going to go ahead and do an attack with both of them. So I'm going to get 4 and 5. So let's see if I can bring the small horde down at this point. There we go. That's a lot better. And needs 4s. Okay, so was able to take that small horde down. So that takes care of that. And unfortunately, my fixer doesn't have a great amount of range at just 2. Sentinels 3. So I could hop on the machine gun with my fixer. Start working on that one. Let's see. I am going to... Yeah, I'll move over. And I'll do the same with the Sentinel. He's going to move over. I will move over with Signal Core here. And I might as well fire with all 3 of them onto that zombie horde and see if I can get it with that. So Sentinel's going to be rolling 4 dice on 5s. Signal Core is going to need 3s. He's 3 away, and then she's going to need 5s as well. So lots of 5s here. Can we do it? All right, so he got 1. Signal Core needed 3s. She's got 2, and she gets to reroll 1. And she got another one. Oh, man. And I will use my ability now. So it says once per round, reduce the target's resistance value by 1. So their resistance is normally 4. So this drops it down to a 3. So I just need to do 6. And that was enough to do it, as I had that. So that one is eliminated at this point, as I did 2 wounds to it. So that was very handy. And I do want to point out again that each one of the different classes is going to have abilities that they will be able to train in. I just have just the one set of abilities for the Sentinel for this prototype. All right. I don't know if I reduced that or not. So it was that one. It was her. No, I definitely didn't, because she hasn't done anything yet in the Sentinel. All right, so she still has a couple actions. The sniper has some actions left. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on the mortar with her. So 1, 2. I won't be able to fire it this round, but that'll put her there. And I think the Signal Core is going to move over so that he's going to be able to start working on him. All right, that is everybody. I think at this point that I want to do anything with. So then the zombies are going to move forward. So we have those guys, and then the runner moves 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, and it is on the electrical field, so it is going to stop there. But that was the maximum amount of movement it had anyways. All right, and so all the zombies have gone, so now it's a new spawn card. So we have, we got 2 more hordes coming out, 1 in 1, 1 in 5. So we got a couple there, and we have another mutated creature, which is the Jumper. And that's going to come out in 2. All right, and the Jumper is, when the Jumper moves, his movement is not impeded by obstacles. There are no obstacles out there, so I guess that doesn't make too much of a difference, but he's got a lot of hit points. Okay, and this also has an event, so I'm going to have to draw and resolve an event card. All right, so this one is: in the dead of nights, the colony is jolted awake by an ominous sound of dripping water. Panic grips hearts as the realization sets in. A critical water pipe has ruptured, leaving precious reserves to trickle away into the darkness. Discard 1 metal pump or discard 3 water. So I do have a metal pump. So I'm going to have to place a worker on that. And then that'll be discarded later. And so I resolved it, and I don't have to handle any other effects with it. All right, that is my second card. All right, so then we're back to our survivors. So at this point, I'm going to play a couple turns off camera, and then we'll be back a little bit later in the game to see how our survivors are doing. All right, so moving back into the game, I've been able to manage for the most part, definitely thanks to some of my weapons that I have out here. The mortar's down to its final shot, and I have only 2 shots left in my machine gun. Over with my medtech, she's had to use her shotgun, so I have 1 more round with that on top of everything else. But I've been able to keep them at bay. I had a couple of close calls where I had the mutated creatures get up onto the platform, but my survivors were able to take it down with their reactionary actions. So moving back into the game now. So I've got a pyramid of zombies there, and it does have 1 wound on. I was able to do a wound, so I have to do another wound to be able to bring it down. So I might be working on that at this point. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and spend my first action with my fixer to, I think I'm going to move over because the fixer is definitely better at close range. Then I'm going to spend an action with the fixer and my sentinel to make an attack. So sentinel's going to get 4, fixers are going to get 5. And I feel like I got a pretty good chance of bringing it down there. I could use signal core to, yeah, might as well. I don't have a whole lot else to do with them at the moment, so let's go ahead and light it up. So I'm going to need 6 successes. All right, signal core adds 2. I get 2 from my sentinel and just 1 from my fixer. Oh no, 2 from my fixer. So the pyramid has 6 resistance, so it will go down. So I was able to take down the pyramid just barely. I do have the coordination though, that gave me a couple extra there too. All right, so from there, what do I want to do at this point? I am going to send my fixer back 1 space to get back on the machine gun. And my sentinel, I'm going to move over. And then we're going to go ahead and take some shots on that group there with my signal core. And sentinel, we're going to be, sentinel's going to be 5s. He's going to be at 3s. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my ability here. So once per round, I get to reduce the target's resistance by 1. So now they have a resistance of 3. So that means that I'll have to do 6 hits to bring them down. So it's still going to be hard to pull off, but maybe, just maybe. All right. Oop, that was a 4. All right, so I got 2 successes there. And he got all 3 of his. And I did need 5s with him. He has no re-rolls. So but I did a wound. So it is going to replace that with a smaller horde. So all things considered, I'll take that. That's not bad. And I don't have much else that I can do at the moment, as he's out of actions. I do have 1 with the signal core, and I do have my med tech still. And she does have a range of 5 or 3 with her thing, so she's going to go ahead and move up 1. She'll do an attack with signal core on that small horde, and maybe we'll be able to bring it down. I need 4 successes. I got 1 with signal core and 1 with her with a reroll. No, that was a terrible roll. Look at that. Yahtzee. Wow, that's a lot of 1s. Okay, so that horde has been able to dodge that attack. And I'm going to go ahead and just slide her back onto that mortar. All right, then it is the enemy's turn. So the horde's going to move up. They're going to get stopped by the electrical field. These guys are going to move up 2 and 2 as well. And then I have a spawn So this one's going to have me adding a Horde in 1. I have a Horde in 4. So, and a Horde in 6. And there's an event with this one. So that was a brutal card. All right, so this one is Signal 102.5. A static lane transmission breaks the silence, carrying with it a plea for aid from a nearby settlement. Their machinery falters, crippled by the lack of essential metal parts. In exchange for assistance, they offer a bounty of electrical components. So I can discard 1 steel fix and get 3 electrical components. So yeah, I think I will do that. So I'll handle that, and so that has been resolved. And then it is back into our turns. So again, our trackers are moved up. And it is back to us. So let's see, this is going to be a big turn here. All right. Well, I'm going to take my last mortar shot onto that group there. And it's going to be 8 dice. And it is within its range. And so it's going to be on 3s. And do I want to bulk anybody else in with that? Yeah, I'm going to throw Signal Core in there as well for a shot. That's not fixers, it's the med tech. All right, so let's see what I can do here. So I need 3s across the board. So the mortar will hit both of them. His are only going to hit one of them. All right, so he's got 2, and the mortar does 4. 1 reroll. Nope. Come on, mortar, not doing so good there. So it does 4, so it's going to reduce them both down to the small ones. Oh, they were here. Which then I think when anytime the small ones are together, they basically combine into a big one. So I was able to bring down a whole one though. So that is it for the mortar. And then let's see, what else do I want to do here? I will go ahead and use my Signal Core and Sentinel to take a shot on the small Horde there. So I need 4s and 3s. All right, so Signal Core lit that one up, and so we take that out. Okay. What else do I want to do here? Fixer's going to move over. And I could light that one up. I think I'm going to wait for that to get a little closer here. So I have those 2. So she's just out of range with that, but I do have one last shot with a shotgun. So I'll move up. And then I think all 3 of us are going to open up on one of them, and I'm going to use my ability. So I just need to do 6, and I will use my shotgun. So I'm going to get 4 for that, and he's rolling 4. All right, so she needed 4s. So she's got 2. She gets 1 reroll. There it is. Okay, nice. Signal Core adds 2, and then he's got at least 2. So that's going to take that down because of the resistance effect. Okay, so that has been super helpful. All right, so that is her last one. Sentinel's got 1, and the Signal Core has 1 left. And the Fixer still got 2. Does have the Molotov still, but I think at this point the Sentinel's going to move over 1, And do I move over with the signal core? Do I stay there? I think I'm going to stay there. All right. That is that. So then the enemies are going to move. So this one's going to move up and convert into a pyramid. This one's going to move up too. It will not convert into a pyramid, so during its next action, it's going to make its way up the pyramid. This one will move up 2, and this one moves up 2, basically doing the same thing, converting into a pyramid. Because you cannot have 2 pyramids next to each other. All right, so I've got my work cut out for me for that. And then we have a spawn. All right, so it is going to be 2, 3, and 6. And there's another event. So let's see what this one has in store. So this is, under the cover of darkness, the colony is besieged by a horde of undead monstrosities. Groaning echoes through the night as rotting hands claw at the barricades, threatening to breach the barrier between life and death. All right, so this is an attack on my colony itself. It's going to attack the southern end of things. And depending upon what I can do here, so I have 2 walls. I have one here that has a defense value 1. I have a metal wall that has a defense value of 1, so that's a total of 2. And I do have a flamethrower that gives me 2 more, so I have a total defense of 4 on that. So I'm going to subtract that from the attack value of 6, leaving 2 left. So it's going to, I'm going to have to discard one colonist or 1 survivor in there. And then I also lose my flamethrower with the colonist on that one. So I'll have to discard that. And that southern wall is down, so I'm going to have to work on repairing that, but it could have been worse. So then that has been resolved, and I'll discard that. And I'll have to choose a survivor in the colony. I don't have that laid out right now, but basically one of them would have to die. All right, back into our turns. So my survivors are holding. So at this point, let's see what we can do here. All right, so I do have my machine gun still with a couple of shots on it. So I'm going to open up with the Fixer and the Sentinel. It's 1 to 2. I'm going to move him over and go there. So then he's going to attack as well. So they're going to group up onto that pyramid there. I'm going to spend 1. So he's rolling 7 dice. So I'll use these 6 and 1 from her. And then he's going to roll 4. My question is, do I use my ability? Might not be a bad choice. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to use the ability. So now its resistance is 5. And let's see what we can do here. All right, so he needed 4s, so he didn't do very well. But the machine gun needed 3s. So there's 2, 4, 6, 7. So I got 7. So it did 8 total. And then I got the 1, 2 for the coordination. That is 10. That is enough just barely to bring it down. So that was huge. Very, very helpful there. Okay, and I still do have the oil barrel that I've been kind of holding off on using just in case I need a last minute explosion to bring things down. Okay, and the Fixer still has 2 actions left. So Fixer is going to move over 1. And I think they're going to coordinate on, well, I could coordinate on that or I could coordinate on that. And try to do some, I think I'm going to coordinate on this guy and try to do some damage there. Make it a little easier. So I got 4 and 5. All right, and I need, he is 2 away, so he's going to need 4s. I got 4 successes still. That's pretty good. And unfortunately, my Sentinel is not rolling well. I needed 4s, And so the Sentinel failed me. I just needed one more success, would have toasted that thing, but I do get enough to at least do one wound to it. So I'll convert it over to a mini. All right, so that takes care of the Fixer, the Sentinel. I still have my 2 other ones that are completely good. So I'm going to take some shots with both of them onto that Horde there. I just got to stem this tide a little longer. All right, and I need 4s with her. So there was 2. He's got 1, and she gets a reroll. And she got it. Wow. All right, so I did a wound to that one, and then I'm going to go ahead and fire again. So second volley. This was a lot better. Okay, so she needs 4s, and he needed, yep. So I wouldn't have quite been able to take them out in one shot, but definitely got them out of the way. Okay, and they have each an action left. There's no point in manning the mortar as it is out of rounds at this point. The machine gun only has 1. So I think that's it for me. So now the zombies are going to go. So this Horde will move up and is automatically there. This one's going to move over, up, and then my final card. All right, so I have one more Horde, a Horde on 5, and then I have a mutated creature, which is going to be a Screamer. All right, so the Screamer comes out. And that's going to be on 2. 2 is there. And then when the Screamer comes out, it also has to resolve its card, so it's going to have another Horde coming out on 3. Where was 3 at? That's 2. There it is, all the way back there. Okay. All right, and that's it for that. All right. And that was the last card that I resolved, so I was able to make it through and finish things off. So everything worked out pretty well. I got lucky. That round would have been, things were starting to heat up, especially with the Screamer coming out now. That was going to add a lot more heat to that. But I was able to make it out of there, and I got all of my stuff so I get to return to the colony and hopefully live to tell the tale another day. Well, I was able to hold off the Horde and live to tell the tale. I was able to bring back critical items to the colony and will hopefully be able to use them to build up some more stuff to advance the colony. Unfortunately, due to that event, I did lose a couple of survivors, which is going to hurt, but overall, I felt pretty good about this one and was able to make it out alive. So I hope you found the video helpful in learning a little bit more about this tower defense exploration aspect of the game. And let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions or anything I can help you with. Or swing by the Gamefound page and drop any questions you have there as well. I'm sure the creator would love to hear from you and is more than happy to answer any questions you have. Until next time, I'll see you later.